Dear learners, welcome to today's session. So, I welcome to all the learners of BSOC 131, and I request all the students please kindly put your mic in the mute mode. So, otherwise, it will lot of noise will come. Nobody can listen. So, for the today's session, I welcomes our counselor, Dr. PK Bhui. No doubt, he's an excellent academic counselor. I do hope definitely yesterday you enjoyed all the I mean class of sir. So true sense, what I am telling you, it's the counseling doesn't mean that's a one way process, because we thought that our learners are also very matured learners, because it's not like that the sir is know everything or I know everything, I am present. That doesn't mean. If you have any idea, if you want to speak anything to at any moment, you can put forth a view. I mean, that's not an issue at all, because the why you are telling counselor, why not telling teacher? Because counseling means it's not like there's a one way, it's a one way method, it's a two way. Because counselor is supposed to not all the time he will teach you, or he will speak on one way. So that's why you're telling counselor, because he will facilitate you, he will guide you, he will counsel you. That's why you are telling counselor. So one another things I am telling you, it's a very it's a very unique system. IGNOU is following very unique system. Why? Because suppose you are studying in one place. Suppose you are belongs to Sambalpur, you are or belongs to Raurkela, you are studying in one college, like you are a government college, Raurkela, you are a student of that, then only that college teacher will teach you. But in our system, you are taking all best teachers throughout Odisha. Okay, somebody is from Sambalpur, somebody is from Raurkela, somebody is from Barampur, somebody is from Bhubaneswar. So in this way, our teaching learning processes goes on. So that's why we feel that our learners are very fortunate to getting a right kind of platform or right kind of people to understand all these things, because I don't want to take much time. So once again, I welcome to Bhui sir, and I just present the
Thank
platform
you,
to
Prasant.
sir. And I request to all the learners, please kindly write your enrollment number and name in the chat box. For that, you can put up for record. And once again, I am requesting you learners, please kindly put your mic in the mute mode. It's request to you. So I welcome you, sir, and I hand over the session to you, sir.
Oh, thank you, sir. So, good morning, students. Good morning, learners. And I hope that you'll be enjoying all the classes in different your blocks. Today, we have been continuing for last some days, last from last class, the relationship of sociology with other social sciences. And particularly all the social sciences, particularly, they are interlinked. They are intercontributory each other for the development of their own field and as a whole towards the smooth study of the society as a whole. So today we'll discuss the relationship of sociology with psychology and relationship of sociology with history. You know that your social sciences particularly, it means that interpretations of your social phenomena by using all your scientific method. That is your the era of your discussion, the area of discussion in your social sciences. And so far sociology is concerned, you can see that is the mother of all social sciences. We are studying the human being as a social being, and we are covering all the aspects of your human life, starting from your socio-political eco life of a person. So definitely we are covering all the your social sciences uh, in your sociology. So all the your discipline, they are interrelated, interlinked, all the social sciences, and all the social sciences though they used to focus in a particular your area, as like your, suppose you can take the history. Suppose history is your recorded events, you're having proofs from archaeology, coin and all that. ଯେବେଠୁ ଆମର ସଭ୍ୟତାର ଆରମ୍ଭ ହେଲା, ଯେବେଠୁ ଆମ ପାଖେ ପ୍ରୁଫ ରହିଲା, ସେଇ ପ୍ରୁଫ କୁ ବେସ୍ଡ କରିକି ଆମେ ତାକୁ ଆମେ ସିଷ୍ଟମେଟିକାଲି we have recorded, written, বা ଆମର ଅଛି ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଶିଳାଲେଖ ମାନଙ୍କରେ ବା ତମର ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଲିପି ମାନଙ୍କରେ ଯୋଉ ଇଭେଣ୍ଟସ୍ ଗୁଡାକ ଅଛି ତାକୁ ସଜା ହେଇକି ରଖା ହେଇଛି, ତାକୁ ଆମେ ସିଷ୍ଟମେଟିକଲି ଷ୍ଟଡି କରିଛୁ and we are getting ample data, ample informations from history ଯାହାକି which is helpful in the your present context। ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ବେଳେ ବେଳେ ମୁଁ ଉଦାହରଣ ଦିଏ, ସପୋଜ ଯେମିତି କି ସପୋଜ ଶେର ଶାହ ସୁରୀଙ୍କର ତାଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ଅ, ତାଙ୍କର ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ କିମ୍ବା ସୋଫାର ୟୋର ମଞ୍ଜେଦାର ହରପ୍ପା ସିଭିଲାଇଜେସନ ତାଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ପ୍ରକାର ତାଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ଅଛି ୟୋର ହ୍ୱାଟ ଇଜ ଦ୍ୟାଟ ୱେ ଅଫ ଲିଭିଂ that we are following all these things in the your in the nowadays in the recent your development programs। So history, that is suppose in political science we are focusing on your state and government, why the your welfare state is necessary, what do you mean by welfare state, and how this welfare state is run by the agency called government, who forms the government, everything। So all the social sciences, they used to have their own area of focus, but all these your social sciences, they are interlinked, as the main your objective is the your development of society, and to study the society, the social relationship, the human being as a whole is the main motto। So all these your social sciences are interlinked। Today let's start from your relationship of sociology with psychology। First of all, already we have discussed regarding the your subject matter of sociology, that your sociology is the your scientific interpretations of your society, social relationship, interlinked, interwoven your social relationship, the all the institutions, all the your systems that are associated with your human society. We are interpreting all that by applying all your scientific method, so as to get a rational your what is the understanding, uh, which are your fact based your studies related to society। କଥା ହଉଛି ଏଇଆ ଯେ ଯଦିଓ ମୁଁ ଗଲା କ୍ଲାସରେ କହିସାରିଥିଲି ଯେ ସଭ୍ୟତାର ବିକାଶ ହେଇଗଲା, ଲୋକେ ଏକ ସାମୂହିକ ଜୀବନ ଯାପନ କରିବା ଆରମ୍ଭ କଲେ, ସେଟେଲ୍ଡ ଲାଇଫ ରହିଲେ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଯୋଉ ପ୍ରକାର ଚଳଣି ଯୋଉ ପ୍ରକାର ଜୀବନ ଯାପନ ସେମାନେ କଲେ, ଯୋଉ ପ୍ରକାର ଏକ ସୋସିଆଲ ଏନଭାରନମେଣ୍ଟ ସେମାନେ ରହିଲେ, ଯେହେତୁ ଏହା ଲ୍ୟାକ୍ କରୁଥିଲା ସାଇନ୍ସ ଏବଂ ତମର ଅଣ୍ଡରଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡିଂ ନଲେଜ ନଥିଲା କିଛି, ସୋ ତାଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ୱେ ଅଫ ଲାଇଫ ଦ୍ୟାଟ ୱେର ୟୁର ସେଫ୍ଟ ବାଇ ଦେୟାର ଓନ୍ ଥଟ୍ which were not rational, ଯାହାକି ଆମେ ପରବର୍ତ୍ତୀ ସମୟ ତାକୁ ଆମେ ଅନ୍ଧବିଶ୍ୱାସ ବୋଲି କହୁଛୁ, ଇଭିଲ ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିସେସ୍ ବୋଲି କହୁଛୁ, ଯାହାକି ଇଟ୍ସ ୟୋର invited so many your social evils, social problems in the society, which directly or indirectly influence other your eco life, your political life and others। So the your thinkers, the sociologists, the philosophers, they felt that it is necessary that we should have a scientific investigations to the your whatever the your way of life that we are attached with, that should be interpreted in a scientific way, and that is the your sole objective of this year subject called sociology। So first let's see, again I am just bringing you, I am highlighting you little bit about your sociology। Among all the your living beings, human beings have the ability to think and interact with the environment, make sense of it। Human is a social animal and lives in a group। As the human society has developed, systematic attempts have been made by scholars to understand and document social and cultural activities of human in different contexts across time and space। This quest to understand the human nature and relationship gave birth to academic discipline such as your sociology। So the main objective of your sociology, it is a quest to understand the human nature and relationship, and to interpret the complex your social your relationship, the social environment that human being is just attached to that। Among these, uh, this quest also your gave rise to other your social sciences like your history, like your political science, and your psychology, your anthropology and all that। Amongst this, the discipline of sociology mainly concerned with the study of human society and relationship within it। Along with the sociology, psychology also focuses on the study of human beings। ଆମର ଯୋଉ ଆମେ ଯଦି ଦେଖିବା, ଯଦି ସାଧାରଣ ଜ୍ଞାନ ହିସାବରେ ଜେନେରାଲରେ ଦେନ୍ ସାଇକୋଲୋଜି, ଯାହାକୁ ଆମେ ମନୋବିଜ୍ଞାନ ବୋଲି କହୁଛୁ, ମନସ୍ତତ୍ଵ ବୋଲି କହୁଛୁ, ଏହା ମଣିଷର ମନକୁ ଅଧ୍ୟୟନ କରେ। ମନକୁ ଅଧ୍ୟୟନ କରେ, ୟାର ଗୋଟେ ଏକ ମଣିଷର ତାର ଯୋଉ ଥଟ୍ ପ୍ରୋସେସ ଅଛି, ତାର ଯୋଉ ପରସେପସନ ଅଛି, ତାର ଯୋଉ ଆଟିଚ୍ୟୁଡ ଅଛି, ତାର ଯୋଉ ଦ୍ୱାରା ସେ ତାର ସୋସିଆଲ ବିହେଭିୟର, ସେଥିରେ ସୋସିଆଲ ବିହେଭିୟରକୁ ସେ ଇନଫ୍ଲୁଏନ୍ସ କରୁଛି, ସେଇ ମନ କେମିତିଆ ତାର attitude ବା perception କେତେ develop କରୁଛି ଏକ social context ରେ ତାକୁ study करे psychology ମନୋବିଜ୍ଞାନ ଏହା ମଣିଷର ମନକୁ ଅଧ୍ୟୟନ କରେ and the uh, particularly perceptions attitude social behavior ଏ ସବୁ ଗୁଡାକ it is influenced by your social environment. So how these your particular thoughts are coming or it's developed in a particular human mind, and how it is influenced by the society, how it is influenced by the social environment. This is the your main concern of the interlinked studies of your sociology and psychology. So psychology totally it's your dedicated or your the main concern of your psychology is a study of human mind. So the question arises: is there any interrelations between sociology and psychology? तो ଏଇ ଦିଟା discipline ଭିତରେ କଣ ତାର ସମ୍ପର୍କ ବା ସାମଞ୍ଜସ୍ୟ ଅଛି? Both are you're dealing with your human being. Okay, କେବଳ ଏହା ଗୋଟେ ସାଧାରଣ ଏକ ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ ଆମେ କହିପାରିବା ଯେ ସାଇକୋଲୋଜି ବା ମନୋବିଜ୍ଞାନ ଏହାର ମେନ୍ ଫୋକସ ରେ ଇଣ୍ଡିଭିଜୁଆଲିଷ୍ଟିକ ପଏଣ୍ଟ ଅଫ ଭ୍ୟୁ ଇଣ୍ଡିଭିଜୁଆଲ କୁ ସେ ଷ୍ଟଡି करे, whereas सोशियोलॉजी ये सोशल एनवायरनमेंट को सोशल रिलेशनशिप को एक ब्रॉडर सेंस रे या स्टडी करता है. बट जेहेतु ए दुई जनकर फोकस होची से इंडिविजुअल or the human being, so they are definitely having much more relevance and they are much more interlinked between both of them. So the question arises: is there any interrelations between sociology and psychology? Whether the theoretical premises of these disciplines could be integrated to develop a better understanding of the socio-psychological phenomena. By studying this unit, we'll be able to understand the nature of sociology and psychology and also the subject matter of social psychology. So in this unit, we are going to cover sociology, psychology, and interlinked, interdiscipline, that is your social psychology. Let's see little bit sociology. The term sociology was coined by Auguste Comte. Already we discussed yesterday, who is called the father of sociology. Sociology is concerned with the study of human relationship and the society. It is believed that relationships develop when individuals come in close contact with other and interactions takes place between them. In fact, ଆମେ ଗତକାଲି discuss କରୁଥିଲେ ଯେ how the society came into your existence. ଏକ nomadic ଏକ barbaric life ରୁ ଏକ savage life ରୁ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିକି ତାପରେ ଏକ settled life ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ କେତେ ହଜାର ବର୍ଷ ଲାଗି ଯାଇଛି ମଣିଷକୁ ଏକ ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ ଏକ settled life କୁ ଆସିବା ପାଇଁ. ତାପରେ necessities ଏବଂ the nature ଏହା compel କରିଥିଲା ମଣିଷକୁ ଏକ social life establish କରିବା ପାଇଁ, ଏକ group living ପାଇଁ, ଏବଂ ସେମାନେ ରହିଲେ, they interacted with each other, relationship developed, and accordingly ଏକ social environment create ହେଲା, they cooperate with each other and a social living got started. So this is the your little bit the history how the your people they get united and led a social and group life. So it is believed that a relationship develop when individuals come in close contact with other and interactions takes place between them. This leads to the formations of social groups, and complex relationships among these groups develop as a result of constant interactions. So this is the history how they came with your close contact, they formed social groups, they led as your, you can say, the your a settled life, and the society came into existence. So hence it can be said that social self and individual selves are two parts of the same coin. So in this your particular unit, we are going to have a close your, you can say, the understanding of your psychology, which deals with your self, the individual's mind, and how the mind reacts, or how the mind is influenced by your social environment, and how these particular two your subject, sociology and psychology, are interrelated and interlinked and intercontributory to each other. So Auguste Comte divided the subject matter of sociology into the study of social static and social dynamics. These are the your two sphere of studies, the division made by your Auguste Comte. So it is the static was concerned with the study of how the parts of the society interrelate. The dynamic was to focus on who the whole societies as the unit of analysis and to show how they developed and changed through the time. So this is the your subject matter of sociology, in which we used to have your these two sphere of understanding society through your social static and social dynamics. Now, if you see the definitions by your Emile Durkheim regarding sociology and your study or the scope of sociology or the your nature of sociology, then you can see that according to Emile Durkheim, sociology is the study of social facts. Sociology can be defined as the scientific study of human life, social relations, social groups, and every aspect of society as a whole. It is one of the best your definitions by Emile Durkheim that sociology, it is the study of your human life, social relations, social groups, and every aspect of the society as a whole. So for which that we are coming close contact with your other your disciplines like your political science, like history, economics, and all that in sociology, because you are covering all the aspects of your human life in the society. The scope of sociology is very wide. If we compare the scope of sociology, the subject matter of sociology, the area of concern of sociology, then you can find that it is much more wider than their other your subject like your history or political science. ଯାହା ଯୋଉମାନଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ studies ଅଛି they are ତାଙ୍କର narrower. ଯେମିତି କି suppose in history we are just concentrating on the your past events. ଆମେ past society କୁ study କରୁଛୁ, then after your um, history you can see that your political science, the main focus is your state and your government as an agent working for the your to satisfy all the dreams of your welfare society and all that. So broadly speaking, the your scope of sociology is much more wider than the your other your social sciences. So the scope of sociology, it is very wider, ranging from the analysis of the everyday interactions between individuals on the street to the investigations and comparison of societies across the globe. That you can see the scope of sociology, how it is covering all the aspects of your human life, from a street man to the your the day to day your phenomena of the globe also. Now let's see little bit the subject the psychology in the common sense. As you know, psychology, monovigyan, manastatva, which deals with your human mind, human thoughts, human perceptions, human attitude, human social behavior, and all that. That is your psychology, the study of human mind. The term psychology is derived from two Greek words: psyche means soul or breath, and logos means knowledge or study. So this is study or investigation of something. Psychology developed as an independent academic discipline in year 1879 when the German professors Wundt established the first laboratory to psychology at the University of Leipzig in Germany. So this is one among the social sciences which deals with your human mind. Your that started as a uh, mm, separate discipline, academic discipline in the year 1879 in Germany. Initially, psychology was defined as a science of consciousness. In the simple words, we can define psychology as the systematic study of human behavior and experience. If we simplify the definitions, then you can see that psychology is a systematic study of human behavior and experience. According to Barron, psychology is the science of behavior and cognitive processes. Psychology emphasizes on the process that occurs inside the individual's mind. So this is scientific your investigations. It emphasizes on the process that occurs inside the your individual's mind, such as perceptions, cognitions, emotions, and consequences of this process on the social environment. How the individuals, your social behavior that influence your social environment, how social environment and your the social setup, the norms, the values, the different your agencies of your social control, how they influence your human mind. So all these things are the your subject matter of your psychology. Now let's focus on your sociology and psychology. They are possible interlinked, how they are interrelated with each other. Both your subjects, they are focusing or they are studying your human beings, both of them. But the psychology part, they are your focusing at the individual's mind, the individual's your behavior. uh, on the other hand, sociology, that you're covering a broader your that your area, that is your social environment where the human being lives. So definitely both your subjects have their linkage with each other. Sociology and psychology together form the core of the social sciences. Right from their inceptions as separate academic disciplines, sociology and psychology have studied different aspects of human life. Most of the other species work on instinct in the physical environment for their survival. So let's see the concept of instinct. Uh, some of the your animals or the your organism, they have their instinct, and according to their instinct, they used to do something. Suppose, but human mind, human being is not like that. Rather, all your activities, all your social behavior, it is influenced by your social environment. So let's see, most of the other species work on instinct in the physical environment for their survival, while the survival human depends upon the learned behavior patterns. An instinct involves a genetically programmed directives which informs behavior in a particular way. It also involves specific instructions to perform a particular action. And we can see all these things in your day-to-day life. If we will observe the different your plants, we will observe different your creatures, then we can see how they are doing their your day-to-day activities according to their instinct. But human your being is not like so. So ଗୋଟେ example ଏଠି ସେ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ଯେ for instance, the birds have instinct to build nest and members of particular species are programmed to build a nest in a particular style and pattern. Unlike this, the human mind is influenced by the social culture, customs, norms, and values. So, human mind is influenced by all these things. So, definitely, a person's behavior, social behavior, is determined by its your own social environment. So, how the social environment plays a vital role to shape the your human social behavior. How this social behavior is also influencing the your social environment. All these things are the concern of your sociology and psychology your subjects. So unlike this, the human mind is influenced by the social culture, customs, norms, and values. It through socializations that humans learn specific behavior patterns to suit them best in the physical environment. Humans process the information provided by the social context, make sense of their living conditions. Sociology's basic unit of analysis is the social system such as family, social groups, cultures, and etc. So it is the subject matter of your sociology, how you are dealing the different your issues related to your human behavior in the society. The main subject matter of psychology is to study human mind to analysis attitude, behavior, emotion, perceptions, and values which lead to the formations of individual personality living in the social environment. While sociology deals with the study of the social environment, social collectives, which includes family, communities, and other social institutions, psychology deals with the individual. For instance, while studying group dynamism, sociologists and psychologists initially share common interest uh, in various types of groups and their structures, which are affected by the degree of cooperation, cohesion, conflict, informations, the power of decision making, and status hierarchies. This initial similarity of interest takes on different focus. Definitely whenever we are studying your your different issues, different your problems that human being your faces in your day-to-day activities, then definitely the sociology and your psychology, they used to have their common interest while studying all these your issues. Now will this interlink between your sociology and psychology brings a particular term and a particular your discipline, interdiscipline, that is discipline, basically your social psychology. Social psychology, it's a subject that how a human mind reacts in a particular social environment. This is your subject matter of your social psychology. The quest to study human behavior on scientific principles started with the emergence and establishment of natural sciences during the year 19th century. Kant throughout thought that society could be studied using the scientific methods of natural sciences. Already ଆମେ ଗତକାଲି discussion ଆମେ କରିସାରିଥିଲେ ଯେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ମଣିଷ ଏଠି ଏକ settled life ଆରମ୍ଭ କଲା, ଯେତେବେଳେ ଏକ settled life start ହେଇଗଲା after thousand of years you're crossing from different phases, then first of all, when the human mind that grew little bit with the touch with your science, with the touch with your different knowledge. Then it started interpreting the your natural phenomena first. ଏଇଟା ଯାହାକୁ ସେ ପ୍ରଥମେ ଏକ ଅନସିନ୍ ଫୋର୍ସ ର ଏକ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ ବୋଲି ଚିନ୍ତା କରୁଥିଲା, ଏକ ଅନସିନ୍ ଫୋର୍ସ ଦ୍ୱାରା ତାହା କଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଲ ହଉଛି ବୋଲି ଚିନ୍ତା କରୁଥିଲା। ତାକୁ ସେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ୍ସ କରିବା ଆରମ୍ଭ କଲା, ହ୍ୱାଇ ଅଲ୍ ଦିସ୍ ଥିଙ୍ଗସ୍ ଆର୍ ହ୍ୟାପେନିଂ। ତାପରେ different natural phenomena କୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ close observations ଏବଂ close interpretation start ହେଇଗଲା, in the light of your science, different subjects came into existence like your physics, chemistry, your botany, zoology, geology and all that। ଏବଂ ଯେମିତି natural science develop କଲା, ତା ପରେ ପରେ ଏହା ବି ଚିନ୍ତା କରାଗଲା ଯେ whether it is possible to study the social phenomena attached to the human being by applying all your scientific method as like your natural sciences। And this particular thought came to the mind of Auguste Comte and other your philosophers, and they also started studying the your social phenomena by applying all your scientific method. The objectives that they thought that your the whatever the pattern of life or the social life that the human being is leading, that is not fact based। fact based न हेबा जोगु ଏହା ସାଇଣ୍ଟିଫିକାଲି ଏକ ତାର ବେସ୍ ନଥିବା ଯୋଗୁଁ ବା ତାର କିଛି ଜଷ୍ଟିଫିକେସନ ନଥିବା ଯୋଗୁଁ ଇଟ୍ ୟୋର ବ୍ରଡ୍ ସୋ ମେନି ୟୋର ସୋସିଆଲ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍ସ, ଅନେକ ଗୁଡ଼ିଏ ତାର ଇଭିଲ୍ ଇଫେକ୍ଟସ୍ ରହିଲା, ଯାହାକି ଆମର ସୋସିଆଲ ଗ୍ରୋଥ ପାଇଁ ବା ଇକୋ ପଲିଟିକାଲ ଗ୍ରୋଥ ପାଇଁ ଏହା ଅବଷ୍ଟାକଲ୍ସ ହେଇକି ରହିଲା ଆଗକୁ। so as to remove all their hurdles for a smooth life, the thinkers or the philosophers, they started your studying your social phenomena around them by using all your methods that is used in your scientific investigation as like your natural sciences। So Auguste Comte argued careful observations of the entities that are known directly to experience could be used to explain the relationship between the observed phenomena। What the Comte felt, by understanding the causal relationship between various events, it is possible to predict future events। So, as like your natural science, Auguste Comte, he felt if we'll observe the phenomena, we'll study the phenomena by applying your scientific method, so you can also predict the future phenomena as like your natural sciences। natural science ମାନେ ଏକ ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ ଏକ phenomena को study करी by coming to a conclusion through different your research, survey and all that in the laboratory, they can predict the future phenomena as like Auguste Comte also felt that by using your scientific tools and methodology, you can also predict your future phenomena of a society, what the institutions will play the role in the future, what would be the different your behavior pattern maybe in the your near future regarding your culture and all your things you are attached to your social living that can be predicted। So Comte also held the belief that once the rules governing the social life are identified, the social scientist can work towards the betterment of the society। This quest to produce knowledge about the society and place of the individual within it on the basis of evidence and observations is central to the origin of your social psychology। So this quest to your study the human behavior in a particular your social context with a particular your social environment that may help so as to predict your future your aspects of related to different issues in the society, and that is your subject matter of social psychology। The idea of early and later sociologists helped to shape the sociological social psychology। The important your contributors to this your particular area is your Mead studies the effect of social conditions on our sense of self। So definitely our social conditions, social environment has a vital role to play so as to shape our human mind, human thought, human perceptions, human attitude, and directly to its your social behavior, what Mead felt। Other influence contributors in the development of sociological social psychology include George Simmel, Charles Hutton Cooley, and Erving Goffman। These are some of the your great your psychologists, sociologists, the philosopher who had a particular your investigation or the your particular concepts related to your social psychology। The emergence of modern social psychology could be traced from the 19th century onwards. One of the first systematic manual of social psychology, that is social and ethical interpretations in mental development, was published in New York in the year 1987 by Baldwin. However, in the year 1908, it was the work of your McDowell and Ross that gave social psychology the status of an independent scientific discipline. So it is particular this social psychology came into existence. It is your interlinked your discipline, which help to your understand or which help to interpret social behavior in a particular social context came into your being, and your this your what is it psychologists like your Ross, then McDowell, then your you can say Baldwin, they contributed a lot in this field. Let's see what is in details. We can see the what is social psychology is all about. uh, there is constant interactions between the intra-individual and social context, and both influence each other mutually. So definitely, the your social environment, it has a great influence on your human mind, humans behavior, humans attitude perceptions has also a great your what is that your influence in your social environment. Social psychology could be defined as the study of the interface between these two sets of phenomena. So it is a study of interface between these two sets of phenomena, the nature and cause of human social behavior, and that your what you can see that in your social psychology we are focusing the nature and cause of your human social behavior. Then the main emphasis is on the thought, feeling, and behavior of individual as shaped by actual imagined or implied presence of others. So a person's a human being, an individual particularly, how his mind is shaped, how he used to display different your social behavior in different context in a particular community, in a particular social environment. So all these your interpretations is the your concern of your social your psychology. Then your social psychology is a discipline that explore in an in-depth manner the various aspects of your social interaction. Then if you see the definition by your Baron and Byron, that your social psychology as the your scientific field that seeks to understand the nature and causes of individual behavior in social situation. So the same thing that is your has been defined by the your Baron and your Baron. So as a whole, if you will sum up, then you can say that social psychology is the systematic study of people's thoughts, feelings, and behavior in the social context. So you should have a clarity regarding this your particular term social psychology, that it is the systematic study of your people's thoughts, feelings, and behavior in the social context. So let's your see the interdisciplinary approach to your social psychology. So the definitions given by Alport suggest that the roots of social psychology are embedded in sociology as well as in your psychology. So it is a subject that is your it has your interlinked to your subject. It is a your sociology and psychology तारा एक mix up एक subject होची this your social psychology. So this is your particularly the social psychology. Uh, its roots are embedded in your sociology as well as in your psychology. The main your contributors or the main your thinkers or the philosophers, those are those who contributed a lot in this your field are like your Cook, the scholars such as Cook, Fine, and House. Then your are of the view that social psychology essentially includes analysis and synthesis of major works in the field of sociology and psychology. Hence, it is interdisciplinary in nature. So it is sure, definitely, as social psychology terms, definitely it is interdisciplinary in nature. The main subject matter of social psychology is the study of the individual in the social context. I am repeating all these things time to time because you should have a particular your clarity in this your term social psychology. In other words, the mind, self, and society are the subject matters of your social psychology, particularly how the individual's mind is shaped, how the individual's behaviors are your displayed, how it reacts to a different situation. These are your subject matter of your social psychology. And There are many sociological and psychological perspectives used in your social psychology to explain and understand the constant influence of human and society on each other. How the human mind, it has already I've told you, it's influenced your to your human society, and how the social environment, its impact or it's your influence on your human mind. This is your interdisciplinary, your particular subject matter that deals uh, in your uh, social psychology. Then depending upon the approach, purpose, and focus of the study, social psychology could be is further divided into sociological social psychology and your psychological social psychology. It is very difficult to make clear distinctions between the two, as social psychology tends to draw from both the disciplines of sociology and psychology. So let's see the details of your social psychology. The cognitive social psychology or the social cognitions is an approach that investigates how information is processed and stored in your human mind, how this your information is processed and stored in a particular social context. According to the your thoughts, information is stored as prototypes, schemas, and the like information processing includes attending to cues, retrieving from memory, and making judgments, inferences, and predictions about oneself and others. This is the your process, how the human your behaviors is displayed after your different your we can say the perceptions, how the person predicts. In this approach, cognition is seen as social because it originates from the social experience and bears consequence on the your interpersonal behavior. ଆମେ ଯୋଉ ମାଇଣ୍ଡରେ ଆମର ଯୋଉ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଯୋଉ ଧାରଣା, ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଯୋଉ ଚିନ୍ତାଧାରା, ଯୋଉ ଥଟ୍ ପ୍ରୋସେସ ଯୋଉ ଡେଭଲପ କରେ, ଏହାର ସିଧା ସଳଖ ରିଲେସନ୍ସ ଅଛି, that is your interpersonal behavior ଏବଂ social experience ସହିତ. So the social experiences, the interrelated your communications in the society, the ideas, values, particular culture of your social environment, all these your greatly that your influence the human your behavior, human minds, perceptions, and cognitions, and all that. Sociological social psychology concentrates on the mass psyche, the psychology of classes, and the elements of group mentality such as customs, moral, and traditions. In other words, it focuses on small groups dynamics. In fact, the social your environment, all the your customs, moral traditions, values, idols, all these used to play vital roles so as to shape the individuals your you can say the individual personality, individuals your thought, your perceptions, and all that. So let's see the your scope of your social psychology. If you see the your subject matter of your social psychology, as said, social psychology studies human behavior in the social context. Social psychology attempts to understand the relationship between individual's mind and thought, the processes in a group as well as in isolation. Acquisition of knowledge about the springs of human behavior is one of the most important tasks of your social psychology. This field of relationship includes the study of humans in small as well as in large groups. It also, according to your Delamater, the main concern of social psychology is the impact of one individual on another. This is your main concern of your social psychology, the impact of one individual on another, the impact of a group on its individual members, the impact of individuals on the group in which they participate, and the impact of one group on another. These are your subject matter, the main concerns of your social psychology, the main objectives why we are getting into social psychology. That is your impact of one individual on another, how it reacts in different situations, how the person displays your different sorts of your behavior patterns in your different context, then the impact of individuals on the group in which they participate, the impact of one group on another. So this is the main concern of your social psychology. A reciprocal relation exists between the individual and the social environment. Hence, it could be said the social psychology attempts to present an integrated picture of the social and the psychological. For instance, the prevailing culture determines how individual members of the society think and feel. So here some examples have been given how your social environment, the social belief, the social customs, traditions in a particular time that influences the your human mind and human behavior. जोथिपाई कि आमे जो बेले बेले जो कथा हो जो हमर जो दैट्स कॉल्ड योर जनरेशन गैप रो कथा जो आसे जनरेशन गैप जो हुए फॉर दिस रीजन ओनली that एक निर्दिष्ट एक space and time रे that particular the social environment it used to have a particular influence your social mind जो हमर एक perceptions attitude particular एक आम माइंड रे अनेक गुड़े जिनस आम भितर आम धारणा कर ଏବଂ ତାକୁ ନେଇକି ଆମର ସୋସିଆଲ ବିହେଭିୟର ଆମେ ଡିସପ୍ଲେ କରିଥାଉ ଯାହାକି with the changing times with the changing your values your changing your social traditions customs beliefs and all that the institutions का role बदली जाए then we used to have another sets of your what is that role status another sets of your rules and regulations social norms values so ସେଇ ସମୟରେ the behavior pattern is something different so ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଏକ generations gap ପରିଲକ୍ଷିତ ହୁଏ because the social environments particularly in a particular your situations in a particular space they used to have a particular sets of your behavior pattern that is your uh, taken for granted by that particular uh, your community and the people living in that particular your social situation. Let's see that your for instance the prevailing culture determines how individual members of the society think and feel. There is a general level of similarity in the thought process across all the individuals socialized in a particular society. এই জিনিসটা আমি কইବାକୁ চাହୁଁଛି যে how the social environment used to play a vital role to shape the your human behavior human minds perceptions human minds your attitude and all that so ଏକ ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ ଏକ କଲଚର ବିୟର କରୁଥିବା ଲୋକ ଏକ ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ your time ରେ they used to play a unique and your collective your social behavior which is your you can say the you can say the you can that is your ସମାନ ପ୍ରକାରର ଏକ ସେମାନେ social behavior display କରୁଥିବେ ଏକ ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ context ରେ similarity in their your behavior pattern there is a general level of similarity in the thought process across all the individuals socialized in a particular society the central topics of the research under the domain of sociological social psychology include life force analysis socializations social networks group dynamics stereotyping and stigma and social stratifications ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଯେ how human minds perceptions develop କରୁଛି how the human minds react କରୁଛି ଏ ସବୁ ଜିନିଷକୁ ଷ୍ଟଡି କରିବା ପାଇଁ sociologists they used to study the your group dynamics social networks socialization process କେମିତି ଚାଲିଛି ଏ ସବୁକୁ ଷ୍ଟଡି କରାଯାଏ जो ଯାହାର କି directly ଏକ impact ରହୁଛି human mind ଏବଂ human behavior ଉପରେ in the life individuals pass through a number of stages such as childhood adolescence adult and old age each of the life phases is influenced by existing social norms values religion and customs for instance, child rearing practices differ across the societies, which in turn have different effects on the personality of the individuals. ଆମେ ଯଦି ୱେଷ୍ଟର୍ଣ୍ଣ ସୋସାଇଟିକୁ ଦେଖିବା ଆମର ଇଣ୍ଡିଆନ କଣ୍ଟେକ୍ସରେ ତାକୁ ଯଦି ଆଲୋଚନା କରିବା ସେମାନଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ରିୟରିଂ ଯୋଉ ଅଛି ତାଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ସୋସିଆଲ ଏନଭାୟରନମେଣ୍ଟ ଅଛି ଆମର ଯୋଉ ସୋସିଆଲ ଏନଭାୟରନମେଣ୍ଟ ଅଛି ଅଲଗା ଥିବା ଯୋଗୁଁ ତ ପର୍ସନାଲିଟିରେ ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ ଆସେ the child having the children particularly having different sets of personalities your compared to your the children of India କାରଣ ଏକ ଭିନ୍ନ ଏକ social setup different type of your culture then your you can say the sets of norms sets of your values ideals and all that ଯାହାକି impact ବା ତାର regulate କରୁଛି ତାର social behavior କୁ then more specifically, the family and family relationship influence individual personality development. At present, given the social diversity, social psychology tends to adopt a multicultural perspective which recognizes the potential importance of class, gender, ethnicity, age, and your sexual your orientation, disability, religion, beliefs, and many other social and cultural dimensions. So as to now India being your multi-religious, your your racial, multilinguistic country. So definitely the sociologists they used to study your what is that all sorts of your religious belief, then disability, your sexual orientations and all that, so as to get a clear picture, so as to clearly interpret the impacts of all these factors to your human behavior and your human mindset. Now, while studying your social psychology, definitely you can also see we should know some of the factors that influence humans' mind and behavior in a society. there are some of the factors जोटा कि आम जस्ट टिके आगुरी कहते को फैक्टर्स गुड़ाक इन्फ्लुएंस करछन्ते टू सेव द ह्यूमन माइंड so while studying in your social psychology definitely we should look into different tools so while studying your social psychology definitely it is necessary to look into different tools these tools include your concepts and terms which sociologists employ to develop and describe their research and theories so it is necessary to your know the tools those are associated so as to study the social psychology so what are your tools what are the factors that directly influence the human minds in a society you can let's see so when we start studying your social psychology definitely we should take into considerations the sociological imagination your part what is this sociological imagination which is necessary so as to study your social psychology our day-to-day life is influenced by a variety of factors which include the family values and other norms which in turn are shaped by the larger social forces an important tool to see forces at work in our everyday life is your sociological imagination that your if you see the social imaginations that Wright Mills says that sociological imagination as per how individuals understand their own and others past in relations to history and social structure that uh, the sociologist must understand the larger cultural, structural, and historical factors that influence individuals before arriving at any conclusion. So definitely, we must have sociological imaginations so as to study the individual's behavior or to come to a conclusion regarding any judgment regarding someone's your social behavior. Definitely, we should consider this your factor historical factors that influence the individuals before arriving at any conclusion. By observing individuals and societies and how they interact through the lens, sociologists are able to examine what influences attitudes, behavior, and culture. So it is necessary that which factors that influences or that your shapes your attitudes, behavior, and all that should be taken into consideration. Sociological imaginations equips social psychologists with the vision essential to think about. So we must have vision uh, so as to study the your social psychology that it gives us a vision to think about all the your possible social factors and conditions that may influence individuals thought process feeling and behavior so we must have your sociological imagination regarding the your that related to a particular social behavior of individuals residing then in a particular social context. Another thing that the tools that is to be taken into your great your importance that is your social norms and values ମୁଁ ଜଷ୍ଟ ଟିକେ ଆଗରୁ କହୁଥିଲି ଯେ ଅନେକ ଗୁଡ଼ିଏ ଜିନିଷ ଆମର ହ୍ୟୁମାନ୍ ମାଇଣ୍ଡକୁ ସେଭ୍ କରିଥାଏ ହ୍ୟୁମାନ୍ ବିହେଭିୟରକୁ ସେଭ୍ କରିଥାଏ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ବେଲେ ବେଲେ ଆମେ ଦେଖିଥାଉ ଯେ ଆମର ଯୋଉ ଗ୍ରେଟଲି ଡିପ୍ ରୁଟେଡ୍ ଯୋଉ ଥଟ୍ ଯୋଉ ଅଛି ବା ଡିପ୍ ରୁଟେଡ୍ ଯୋଉ କଷ୍ଟମ୍ସ ଟ୍ରାଡିସନ୍ସ ଗୁଡାକ ଅଛି ତାହା ସହଜରେ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହୁଏ ନାହିଁ କାରଣ ସେଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ସେ ସମୟରେ ସେଇ ଲୋକଙ୍କ ମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ସେଇ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କୁ ଏତେ ଜୋର ଇନଫ୍ଲୁଏନ୍ସ କରିଥିଲା ଯାହାକି ସେଥିରୁ ସେମାନେ ବାହାରକି ଆସି ପାରୁନାହାନ୍ତି ଏକ ସୋସିଆଲ ଚେଞ୍ଜ କଣ୍ଟେକ୍ସଟରେ ଏକ ଚେଞ୍ଜିଂ ୟୋର ସୋସିଆଲ ସିନେରିଓରେ ସେ ଜିନିଷଟାକ that cannot be changed within themselves ଯୋଉଥିପାଇଁ କି ଜେନେରେସନ୍ସ ଗ୍ୟାପ୍ ଏବଂ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ସର୍ଟସ ଅଫ୍ ୟୋର ମ୍ୟାଟର ଅଫ୍ ଆର୍ଗୁମେଣ୍ଟସ ହୋଇଯାଏ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ତ ସୋସିଆଲ ନର୍ମସ ଏବଂ ଭ୍ୟାଲୁଜ ମଧ୍ୟ ଏକ ଭାଇଟାଲ ରୋଲ ପ୍ଲେ କରିଥାଏ so as to save the your social behavior of the individuals. Social norms are behavioral guidelines that regulate our behavior. It is associated with the rules of conduct which are ought to be followed by individuals. Values refer to some deeply held ideals and beliefs. Values portray an ideal that standard that society would like to embrace and live up to. So these particularly they used to shape the human perceptions and cognitions and all that. And another thing, the most important factor that is culture. Culture, that is way of life. But every society, जो जगह भी जेमतिया society startup ହେଇଗଲା, they used to bear a particular culture in their within their particular territory. So culture is the way of life, এবং এই way of life has a vital role to play so far your human behavior, human minds, perception is concerned. Culture refers to the unique pattern of behavior and beliefs specific to a particular society. All societies have their own culture. The components of culture include symbols, language, values, beliefs, norms, and materials, your artifacts. Culture is shared. So this shared culture ଯାହାକି percolate କରିଥାଏ generation to generations, ତାହା greatly influence କରିଥାଏ human mind କୁ. So before going to study your social psychology, definitely you should be very much you're acquainted with your all your culture and your social norms and values of that particular your society when you are going to have a close interrogation. Then another thing that is to be seen, that is your roles and status of the individuals. Roles are patterns of behavior that we recognize in each other that are representative of a person's social status. It is expected your role attached with a particular status, and it is with a particular role, a set of your behavior pattern is attached every time. For instance, while reading this text, you play the role of the students. Beside this, you have many other your roles such as your son, daughter, brother, sister, a neighbor, to name a few. The term status is used to describe the responsibilities, benefits, and prestige person's experiences depending upon his or her rank and role in the society. So this particular role and status also, it used to have a great your contributions to shape your human mind and human perceptions. Another the most important and the vital your factor, that is your socialization. Socializations, socializations process ଯାହାକୁ ଆମେ ସାମାଜିକୀକରଣ ପଦ୍ଧତି ବୋଲି କହୁଛୁ. In fact, ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା ଯେ the particularly the human being is said to be your social animal. We are quite different from your other your animals. We are social animal. A particular term your social is attached with us. The why that we are able to think, we have a mind, we have a group living, we are satisfying all your basic needs with a great discipline and all that. So we are social. We have some your qualities. We have sociability so as to live in a society. And from where that particular all these your qualities that you are getting, that you are getting it from your social environment, the human environment. How it is done? It is done with the process of your socialization. Internalizations of your prescribed rules and regulations of your social environment. That is done by your first of all the family is the first school, then your you can say the peer group, then other your primary and secondary groups are there. All your social values, social norms, customs, traditions are internalized through the process of your socializations. So ଏକ ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ ସମୟରେ ଏକ particular your time ରେ that we are socialized, we are guided by your social norms and values. ତ ଆମେ ଯେମିତିଆ guided ହେଇଥିବେ, जो norms, जो values, जो social norms ଦ୍ୱାରା ଆମେ influence ହେଇଥିବେ, accordingly ଆମର human mind ଟା shaped ହେବ. So socialization is that plays a key role to shape your human's behavior. Socialization is the process through which begins at birth and is a continuous year process when the newborn child acquires the social norms, behavior patterns, beliefs, and your standards and values deemed significant and appropriate by his social group. Socialization serves many functions for the society. Most important one to maintain the social order. So socialization, it plays a vital role, particularly the learning is a process, machine in criminology. Suppose if you go through the criminology or your crime and deviance, you can see the juvenile your delinquencies. Then you can find that particularly the children, particularly those are involved in your heinous crime from the very childhood. ତାଙ୍କୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ମଝିରେ ମଝିରେ ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ କରା ହୁଏ ଯେ which factors বা ଏମିତିଆ କଣ କୋଉ ସିଚୁଏସନ୍ସ ତାଙ୍କୁ କମ୍ପେଲ କଲା so as to commit a crime. ଦେଖା ଯାଉଥିଲା ଯେ the particular the children, those are those who have not gone through this process of socializations, they are unable to take up the prescribed rules and regulations, prescribed social norms, जोथिପାଇଁ कि they got deviated and delinquent behaviors ତାଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ଦେଖା ହେଲା. ଏଟା ହଉଛି the finding of your research that socializations is a must so as to convert the biological organism to your human being, that you are acquiring the term social social animal by going through the process of socializations only. So that particularly the role of family is important for that sake. Then now we can discuss the your particular methodology adopted or taken so as to study your social psychology. What are the your methodology that are taken, that are your used while studying your social psychology? Particularly as you are applying all your scientific method so as to study social phenomena as like your natural sciences, but we don't have a laboratory uh, that your the university itself the laboratory for us, that the for samples, we are taking the people, the individual, uh, in different groups. Then you are conducting your interviews, then you are sending questionnaires so as to get the your different opinion from the people. Then also sometimes we are also collecting data through your participatory observations and all that. So we are also using some your methodology. You are adopting some methods so as to study your social phenomena as your natural sciences. But though it is not as not as like your pure science, or you can say that your natural sciences, but still we are coming very closer so far the methodology is concerned as like your natural sciences. So, social psychology draws on many concepts and methods of sociology to study the reciprocal relationship between human and social environment. Then, in sociology, Max Weber emphasized that influence of culture on human behavior had to be taken into account. He introduced the concept of your Bastian, a German word that means to understand in a deep way. The researcher attempts to understand the social process or the cultural activities of the small social groups from an insider's point of view. This approach led to the development of methods where the sociologists strive to capture the subjectivity involved in the social processes, cultural norms, and societal values. All these things are to be taken into your great concern so as to study your social psychology, or to read or to get into your the deep your insight into your human behavior. The aim of the researcher is to systematically gain an in-depth understanding of the social worlds he is observing rather than draw broad generalization. This is seen as the fundamental difference between the qualitative and the quantitative research methods in sociology. So, particularly, we are taking both the quantitative and your qualitative method of research so as to get into the details of the your human behavior and the different factors they are contributing or they are shaping the human mind. As following this, research methods in social psychology could be qualitative or quantitative. Quantitative research in social psychology use large-scale survey. So when you are taking into consider the quantitative research, you are taking into account, we are focusing on your survey in a large scale. You are covering the numbers of people, which involves a large number of participants. Then you are also taking experiments, including two different groups, and statistical techniques are used to analysis the data, which leads to predict general patterns of human behavior. So we are taking into consideration the your quantitative method of research. Then we are also taking your qualitative approach. That is your qualitative research methods seeks to understand the human behavior using in-depth interviews, focus group discussions, and analysis of your content sources. So these are the two methods are taken so as to study your social psychology in the society. With the expansion of your social psychology, it is adapting methods such as your ethnography and qualitative approach, which are the core methods in domain of sociology. Then others your methods are also taken into considerations while studying your social psychology. So let's now see the objectives of your research in social psychology. Why research are taken so as to study your social psychology, why it is necessary. Social psychology focuses on the analysis of individuals' behavior in relations to others, as well as with your social your environments, as already we have discussed. The main objectives of social psychology research could be categorized into the following heads for mm, mm, the for this region only. For this your necessities that we are focusing in your research in the your context of your social psychology, that is your observations and your descriptions. One of the main objectives of social psychology is to observe and describe social behavior under different circumstances in a systematic manner so that possible reliable generalizations could be drawn from a large population. So this is the your one of the main objectives of your research of your social psychology. Then your cause and effect relationship. All the your studies based on your scientific method seek to establish cause and effect relationship between different your variables. The social psychologist attempts to analyze the effect of changes in a social institution, such changes in values, culture, and traditions on the human behavior. Already, we have discussed it how the your values, culture, traditions that used to have a great impact or great your influences on your human mind. That is to be that can be known by going through your research in your social psychology. ଏ କେମିତିଆ ଆମର ଏକ ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ ଏକ ସାମାଜିକ ଜୀବନରେ ଏ ସବୁ ଗୁଡାକ ଭାଇଟାଲ ରୋଲ ପ୍ଲେ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଆମର ବିହେଭିୟର ପ୍ୟାଟର୍ନକୁ ସେଭ୍ କରିବା ପାଇଁ। ବେଲେ ବେଲେ ମାଇଟ୍ ବି ସିନ୍ that ମୁଁ ଚିନ୍ତା କରେ might be seen the your khap panchayat or the different your village level panchayat that are operating even nowadays जो मानकर सेठी सेमाने जो सेट्स ऑफ योर जो नॉर्म सोशल नॉर्म सेमाने जो एस्टैब्लिश करचंती ताकू पार करिबा बा ताकू चैलेंज करिबा एबे एक दुर्ह व्यापार हेगलानी फॉर एवरीवन. It is too difficult to challenge all the your establish your social norms and values, and that is well regulated and controlled by the your village level panchayat. କାରଣ ସେ ପାର୍ଟିକୁଲାର ଜିନିଷ ଗୁଡାକ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ହାଜ୍ ବିନ୍ ସେଇ ଯୋଉ ଥଟ୍ସ ସେଇ ପାର୍ଟିକୁଲାର ୟୋର ସୋସିଆଲ ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁ ସୋସିଆଲ ନର୍ମ ଯାହାକି ଏଷ୍ଟାବ୍ଲିଶ ହେଇଛି ଏକ ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ ସମୟର ଏକ ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁଜ ଏକ ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ ସମୟର କଲଚର ଯୋଗୁଁ ହିଁ ଯାହାକି ଆଫ୍ଟର ୟୋର ସୋସିଆଲ ଚେଞ୍ଜେସ୍ ହେଲା ପରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଆମେ ଏକ ଏକ ପରିବର୍ତ୍ତିତ ସମାଜକୁ ଆସିଲା ପରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଟୁ ଡିଫିକଲ୍ଟ ଟୁ ଗେଟ୍ ରିଡ୍ ଫ୍ରମ୍ ଅଲ୍ ଦୋଜ ୟୋର ସୋସିଆଲ ଇଭିଲ୍ସ ଯୋଉଥିପାଇଁ କି ତମର ଅନର କିଲିଂ ଏଣ୍ଡ ଅଲ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ different sort of your evil practices are taken even might be seen the sati pratha, the child marriage, then the different sorts of your social evils are still existing in your Indian context ଯାହାକି ଆମର ସୁଦୃଢ କରିଛି ଆମର ଚିନ୍ତାଧାରାକୁ এই ସବୁ ଜିନିଷଗୁଡାକ ଆମ ଭିତରେ ଏକଦମ ପୁରା ଅସ୍ଥି ମଜ୍ଜାଗତ deep rooted in our your blood and bones ଯାହାକି ଯାଇପାରୁନାହିଁ. So to study the social psychology particularly, definitely we have to get insight into your this your what is that culture, the values norms of the society time to time, because they used to influence the social behavior. Then it is also necessary to have research in your social psychology so as to propose new theory. One of the objectives of social psychology is to propose a new theory based on the causal analysis of the social behavior to explain and understand why human beings under particular situation behave the way they do. So by your taking research, by going through research in your social psychology, you can predict, you can propose the new theory why human beings under particular situations behave the way they do. Though it is very difficult to came into your conclusion ଆମେ ଏକ ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ ସିଦ୍ଧାନ୍ତରେ ଆମେ ପହଞ୍ଚି ପାରିବେନି as like your natural sciences କାରଣ human mind is that is not stable, ଏହା change କରେ time to time. ତଥାପି ଆମେ you can propose some new theories by going through your researches in the field of your social psychology. Then let's see the importance of your social psychology. Social psychology can make diagnosis of contemporary situations to explain adequately the reciprocal influence of individuals and their social environment by attending all of its psychological and social level of analysis. This is the your you can have a great your what is that you can say the great your hold, or you can say you can have clear cut understanding of your social behavior, human minds, human perceptions by through this going through this your studies in your social psychology. The reciprocal influence of individual and their social environment, you can get a clarity on this. Then social psychology attempts to provide a two-way link between situation and behavior and gives predicts to the causal sequence of relations between the groups. So So social psychology can help us so as to get or so as to get a clarity or to understand the interlink between your social situation, social context, and your human behavior, human minds, and its interactions with the individuals, groups, uh, intergroups, intragroups, and all that. So this is all about the relationship of sociology with your psychology. Now we'll have we'll get into another your social science, that is your history, the relationship of history with sociology. History, this is your the study of the past, when uh, we focus on the your past events. ଆମେ ଇତିହାସ କାହାକୁ କହୁଛୁ? ଆମର କ୍ରମାନ୍ୱୟରେ ସଜାଇକି ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି, chronologically written with proofs, the events, the then your socio political environment is highlighted, uh, your step to steps, page by page. Okay, this is your history. We get abundant, your plenty of your data informations of the then period by going through history. So how history is your interlinked or linked with your sociology? Both of the your social sciences, they used to study the society. One is your history, your focuses on your past society. The sociology is to the your present society. So both the discipline, they used to contribute each other, so as to develop their own discipline. So this unit explains relationship of sociology with history. This is your unit 4. It highlights or your focuses on the your link between your history and your sociology. Both disciplines are very much interrelated. Sociology is often defined as study of society. Notably, no study of any society can be accomplished without looking into its history or past. So definitely, whenever we are focusing or concentrating on your present your society, definitely to study so as to know the society in a better way. Definitely, we have to focus. We have to see the past of that particular society, because it's going to give us so many your informations related to that society. So many your traditions, customs, all your socio-political your sphere is taken into consideration while studying the your present society. So history used to your what is that provide provides your data related to your past events and your happenings. It is immensely important to see how the society has evolved in the past, what kinds of circumstances and instances have been through which the society has moved on or evolved further. What has been the factors contributed to the changes in its structure and functions, that is to be seen by through your history. Thus, to understand any society, group or institutions, one needs to appreciate its past to comprehend its present status. So as to comprehend, definitely to the present status, definitely we have to look back to your past, your society, the past situations. It may be noted that the emergence of sociology itself has been shaped up in the historical development, such as French and industrial revolutions, growth of cities and social institutions, and growth of individual rights and liberties. So the existence of your sociology uh, came into being when these particular changes were taken place in their history. So like your what is the French revolutions, industrial revolutions, growth of cities and all that. So when we are going to study the present year society, the your urban developed your modern society, definitely we have to see, we have to go back to the your different your what is that situations, how the your society evolved, what's of your transformations taken place, what are the changes that were taken place then. So you have to focus all your past events also while taking into considerations or to study the present society. Various earlier scholars or founding fathers of sociology, like your August Comte, your Spencer, Max Weber, Immanuel Durkheim, Karl Marx, gave importance to history or historical perspective in their analysis of social structure, changes, and dynamics. Sociology and past or the history are deeply interconnected with each other. Furthermore, history also takes help of sociology in order to elaborate and analyze historical phenomena. So thus, this particular two-year discipline are interlinked. You can say that your history is the past sociology. History is the past sociology and sociology is the present history.
ଏକ ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ ପାଷ୍ଟ କୁ ଆମେ ଷ୍ଟଡି କରୁଛୁ ଏକ ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ ଏକ ଟାଇମ ଲାଗୁ ଏକ ଲାଇନ ଟେ ଡ୍ର ହଉଛି, then we are coming to your sociology. So particularly whenever we are focusing, we are getting into your present, your different issues related to your present society, definitely we are bound to go back to the your history so as to look the different situations or the your different your different factors that may influence the present situation. Furthermore, history also takes help of sociology in order to elaborate and analyze its historical phenomena. We bring so many your data, so many informations from your history, so as to develop our own discipline. Again, history also takes help of sociology in order to elaborate and analyze historical phenomena. It essentially looks into social aspects of past human lives. It is primarily in this context that the both disciplines supplement each other in understanding social developments. Thus, both your thus your discipline are interlinked and interrelated. Hence, the subject field such as your historical sociology, social history, and your cultural history emerge as an outcome of intersections between sociology and history. So, this is your interdiscipline. Interdisciplinary concepts are all these your historical sociology, social history, and your cultural history, because both these your discipline, they are focused, their main concern is your the study of your society. One you're studying your past society, one is you're focusing in your present society. Sociologists often talk of the context while studying or explaining society in terms of its structure, functions, and changes. Here, time and space are two important factors which inherit and explain the contextual aspects of your social reality. Time is crucial factors in explaining the evolutions of social reality, as social realities get shaped over a period of time. Since history take care of factors such as time or periodical evolutions of societies. So the history contributes. Our history provides us the informations regarding the time and space, the evolutions of societies. It essentially helps sociologists to study society in much more systematic fashion. So for the your systematic way to study the systematic in a systematic way, definitely we have to take the help of your history so as to focus the present society. History is must. It helps sociologists in providing rationale to articulate present status and development trajectory of a society. History and sociology are closely related to each other. We may also note that both the disciplines differ in their nature and approaches, maybe, nevertheless, intersect or crisscross each other on many points. Both your, though they are the individual your discipline, still they have much more to contribute each other for their own development. Let's see the relationship. History is often defined as study of past. Historians who study history do study cause and effects of past events and circumstances leading to social change and development. So this is your subject matter of your history. It is the study of past. Who study history do study cause and effects of past events and circumstances leading to social change and your development. Then your history is embedded into numerous interrelated aspects. Firstly, history as the past or things happened in the past. Secondly, history as narrative that tells events happened in the past. Various thinkers describe history as a study of human's past based on your archaeological evidences. It is important to understand that this so-called past has its own social structure, social, cultural, political, and economic aspects. Historians look types of societies, their structure, culture, and civilizations, and politics, human societies had and developed over the period of time. So, particularly the historians, by taking into consideration the different your proved evidence, they used to study the culture, the 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 background of the evolution of a particular your society, the economic eco-political aspect of a particular your society. They used to focus all these things. History studies all the social domain with respect to their time and space attributes. History is important in many aspects. First, history plays important role in the society similar to as memory does to an individual. As memory plays a vital role to an individual. as like the history plays a vital role for the society. Secondly, history like memory provides identity and recognitions to any individual or groups or a community in the society. It indicates towards one's roots, historicity, or trajectory of developments as it might have happened in the past. It is primarily because of the such crucial important tasks that the role of history becomes critically important and crucial to unpack the social reality. It also then becomes a site where various contestations takes place. So this is the your subject matter, your history. That you're interpreting, uh, somehow taking your scientific, applying scientific method, the past events and happenings, the socio political eco factors related to the then period, chronically your written the different your events, different wars, every sorts of things, the your socio eco political architecture culture, everything is your highlighted your step by step according to your time and space. And already I have told you it's used to provide abundant data, abundant informations of your past events and past situations, past society. Then how this particular two discipline have the relationship, let's see. Sociology and history are interrelated to each other. Sociology studies society and focuses on current issues by looking their historical background. You know that your sociology and history interrelated because one is your focusing past, one is focusing in the present. Your sociology, your study society, your and focuses on current issues by looking their historical background. Both present and past come closer in such analysis. So when particular issue is your discussed, your particular issue is taken into consideration by a sociologist, so definitely this he used to focus the your past, your things related to that issue, so the past and your present come closer in such analysis. Sociologists often refer to history to explain social changes, development, and changing face of society over a period of time. Similarly, history also needs social aspects to explain the past. Thus, these your two disciplines are interrelated. The boundaries between the two disciplines get blurred and entangled, which do entails a context to explain complex waves of social reality. These blurring of boundaries between the two disciplines are seen by many scholars as opportunity for productive research and use. Then, if you see the interlink of your this your two discipline, let's see, social change is a reality. It has to happen. History shows mirror or true way to analyze it with respect to time and space. How the your society evolved, what are the changes that took place time to time, which factors influence for these your changes, all these are your the subject matter of history. So whenever we are focusing on your present situations, present context, present issues, then definitely you are bound to look back to your past situations, past events, past changes, past factors. So thus this history and sociology, they are interlinked with your each other. History, in fact, said to be the constant reminder of the fact that change, even though permanent, is irregular and unpredictable. History thus provides a frame of reference and contextual tool to examine and analyze change carefully. So it helps us, it gives us abundant your data, informations, a frame of reference, and contextual tool to examine and analyze change carefully. So whenever we talk about social changes, the different changes that we used to have time to time, so definitely how these changes taken place, how what are the your factors that your contributed so as to these changes, then definitely history provides us all the data related to that. Both sociology and history thus depends on each other to take complete stock of reality. Sociology depends on history to understand past events, movements, and social institutions. Needless to say that the sociology is also concerned with the study of historical developments of society. Then your sociologist studies ancient or old traditions, culture, growth of civilizations, groups, and institutions through historical analysis and interpretations. Notably, the your John Shelley rightly said that history without sociology has no fruits. History without sociology has no fruits, and sociology without history has no roots. Thus, you can see the interlink, the deep your relationship between this your two your particular discipline. This is your sociology and your history. So, both past and presents are equally important to understand any social issue in totality and in depth. So, history is a must. So, as to study the your present situation, the present society. Sociology as a discipline may provide help in terms of your offering a particular frame of mind to study history and its phenomenal developments. For instance, the tool of your sociological imaginations may help one to go beyond the general fact, to look beyond the obvious, and to examine aspects of any historical phenomenon critically. So, sociology also necessary for the historians so as to present the your past events. Then you can see mm, the tool of social imaginations involves seeing the world in terms of your biography and history, and it is necessary so as to present your historical presentations. In a scheme of things, personal biographies, which sociology studies, are linked with social and historical context. My question: whenever you are taking into consideration your biographies, that are your linked with social and historical context. Such linkages, discretely situated in the womb of historical phenomena, need to be explored. In fact, if you see the your Mills emphasized on three aspects of human world: structure, biography, and history. He developed his patterns of analysis at the intersections of above mentioned three dimensions of human world. Mills focuses on social structure in terms of information and shaping of social world as a systematic reality. He further linked up human behavior as shaped by particular patterns of your social relations. History may help to understand the context of any social issue, to locate the problem and in understanding the issue thoroughly. So this is the help of your history that it can make so as to study your different social issues in your present context. Let's see the your views of your August come regarding uh, the histories, your contributions towards the development of your sociology as a discipline. August Comte's conceptions of sociology include history in his analysis of growth of sociology and society. So August Comte focused on your historical development when he your put forth the different your theories related to your sociology. If you see the theory of the law of three stages, suppose by August Comte, then there we can see that August Comte has taken into consideration your different your historical development, the different phases of human evolutions, while you're conceptualizing this theory of law of three stages. August Comte's conceptions of sociology includes history in his analysis of growth of sociology and society. He dwells into causes and regions of developments of humanity through various historical stages. So definitely, whenever we are studying the present situation, the we are focusing on your present social your environment, present social issues. So definitely, it has a historical your background of all the issues and all the events. So definitely, we are going to have a close interpretations of your social events of your past, and that is your history. And what your August Comte did while making your close interpretations of your society in the present context. Again, if you see your sociologists like your Tilly, your Karl Marx, Weber, all your sociologists, they have elaborately used historical dimensions to enrich their sociological analysis. So it is necessary that you have to have a close understanding of your history while presenting your present your social issues or studying your society in the present context. Then, if you see suppose the Weber's elaborations of ideal type is an example of how socialists have drawn up to develop their social interpretations. If you see the works of your Max Weber, your or Karl Marx, and definitely they have taken the uh, historical events in a great way so as to present all this your sociological theory. So the sociologists they have drawn to develop their sociological interpretations. This your historical events to locate an issue and examine its significance. Furthermore, history has many things to offer to sociology. For instance, historical sources that are available provide a large body of data to sociologists for analysis on society, its growth and dynamics. What I was just speaking you some minutes back, that it provides a lots of data, okay, to sociologists for analysis of on society, its growth and your dynamics. If you see the example that, for instance, social upheavals in Europe during your late 1700s and your 1800s, your motivated scholars to study society and understand the patterns of social developments. To this effect, there are some ample examples which demonstrate linkage of your sociology with your history. For instance, many sociologists like your Kant, Spencer, Marx, Durkheim, Weber, Schimmel, Pareto, Parsons, and even the contemporary sociologists such as your Mannheim, your Cashels, used historical dimensions in their sociological analysis. The sociologists they have definitely it is necessary to see the historical your development so as to present your social development in the present your era. All the sociologists they placed ample emphasis on the origin of modernity, models of development, and problems of your urban communities. Sociology, in its earlier period and in the beginning of the 20th century, was interested in both present and past. It essentially got historical phenomena as its integral part to define concepts and situate the same into the context. Sociological concepts also help in hello. Sociological concepts also help in casual explanations of historically and culturally significant phenomena. So definitely history is going to play a important role while studying the your present situations, the present society. You know, even might be seen. ଆମେ ଯଦି ଏତେ deep କୁ ନେଇକି ଯଦି ଆମେ ବି ଦେଖିବା ଯେ ଯେମିତି କି ମୁଁ କହୁଥିଲି ଯେ some your what is that archaeological survey କରିକି ଆମେ ସେ ସମୟର କଳା ସ୍ଥାପତ୍ୟକୁ ଦେଖିକି ଆମେ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଅନେକ ଗୁଡେ ଚେଞ୍ଜେସ୍ ଆଣୁଛୁ ଆମ ଲାଇଫ ରେ ଯେମିତି କି ସପୋଜ ମେଞ୍ଜୁଦାର ହରପ୍ପାର ଅନେକ ଗୁଡେ ତାଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ସ୍ଥାପତ୍ୟ ଅଛି ବା ତାଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ଅର୍ବାନାଇଜ ଯୋଉ ଲିଭିଂ ବା ତାଙ୍କ ପ୍ୟାଟର୍ନ ତାଙ୍କ ଡ୍ରେନେଜ ସିଷ୍ଟମ୍ସ or ତାଙ୍କ ଟାଉନ ପ୍ଲାନିଂ those are applied now it is also okay suppose in economics also so many your theories that have been your developed by your quarterly or what are these and your economists those are applied in your recent your era also in your economics and economic analysis in terms of your what is that other sorts of your in other spheres also we are just following the steps of your history so as to develop in the present context. So history is definitely there so as to read or to study the present situation. They provide ample your informations regarding the development growth of that particular your issues. The development of sociological theories is your traced in 19th and 20th century. Historical development at the level of philosophy, your and progressive thinking that your it all took place in your 19th and your 20th century, the development of sociological theories. And while your what is that when these sociological theories came into existence, if you see the contributors, the great contributors of your sociology, then we'll see that they have taken into considerations or they have followed the past events or they have your what is that they have taken the history or the informations that was in your past your happenings in a great way so as to what is that present the theory properly in the present context. Especially sociological theories have been product of intellectual, social, cultural, and political climate within which they were developed, and that is to be seen. And for that, history is a must because these your particular sociological theories that are the product of your intellectual, social, cultural, and political climate with which they were developed. And for that, we have to follow the your history. For instance, Enlightenment was a period of remarkable intellectual development. Some of the important ideas and social thoughts emerged in this period. These ideas and thoughts newly developed replaced the old ones. The period gave birth to the society which can be understood by means of reason, rationality, scientific methods, or empirical research. So, whatever the changes that took place in the your present scenario that had roots and causes, regions in the past, and if you see the sociological theory, particularly that emerged, that is that, to know that particular to understand your sociological theory and their background, definitely you have to go back to the period of enlightenment. You have to go back to the era of your region, and all those are the your subject matter of your history. The period gave birth to the society which can be understood by means of reason, rationality, scientific methods, or empirical research. Similarly, in 1789, French revolutions created a space when universal rights of man accepted as essential ingredients of social fabrics. ଯାହାକି ଆମେ ଗତକାଲି discuss କରିଥିଲେ the role of your French revolutions, how it brought a sea change in the your living, the ideas, the values, and the overall functioning of society. After French revolutions, the people started thinking in a different way. The your divine rule or the work of your monarch and the behavior patterns of prevailing then in the society were challenged by the people after your revolution. They brought a different social order. Many earlier sociologists were product of such approach, uh, such your epochal periods, and carried forward a tradition of progressive thoughts. Saint Simon was directly influenced by French Revolution, whereas Comte lived in the aftermath of the French Revolution. So history provides the enough informations of uh, the progressive society, and it influenced a lot to the your present sociological theories developed by the sociologists. Then these earlier sociologists have gave thoughts to understand and examine ongoing socio-cultural upbuilds and human affairs. For instance, Kant, referring together moral and social philosophy, philosophy of history, and methods of particular of sciences, Karl Marx and Max Weber, who are also counted as founding fathers of sociology, have used history in their sociological analysis. Already we have discussed regarding this that your Karl Marx, Weber, August Comte, Spencer, they they took into account uh, they followed and they what is that they studied history first so as to bring some of the changes in their present context and so as to put their theories. They have used history in their sociological analysis. Marx analysis of social change and historical materialism are the examples. Similarly, Weber has found elaborations of which concepts such as your rationalization, modernity, capitalism, secular society, city, and ideas type in the womb of history and its analysis. So, great reference. They have actually history provides in your reference so as to study your present context, your present, your different your social issues. So, thus, the Weber when he found your uh, elaborations on your concept such as your rationalization, modernity, capitalism. So he has taken into account the history and its analysis to present all these your theories. As indicated earlier too, Weber in his book Economy and Society bring out historical explanations to elaborate his propositions of secular theories about the origin and consequences of particular historical phenomenon from Protestant ethics to the modern state. So this is also your great work by your Weber. While you're presenting his your economy and society, he uh, he has taken into account your historical your development from your Protestant ethic to your modern state. Then many intellectual in the field of sociology have worked towards developing social history. Now we'll discuss as like your social psychology. Now you come to your social history. It is your interdisciplinary concept. It is your social history. Especially, specifically, at the turn of your 19th and 20th century, few historians in German-speaking countries and other nations who dared to deviate the traditional pathways of the discipline gradually began to appear to contribute to the development of social history. So let's see what is social history is all about. That if you see the work of your J.H. Turner, who explains America's positions in terms of boundaries between civilizations and wilderness, C.A. Baird interpreted and analyzed American civil wars as a conflict between industrialized North and agrarian South. Similarly, if you see the work of Henry, who developed a socio-economic history of Europe, then if you see the work of your John Huygens, dedicated his work to the late Middle Ages and made a significant contributions to cultural history. Sorry for your what are the disturbances. In fact, the somehow the link got disrupted. So, uh, while referring to the your present your social theories, the theory related to your sociology, the all their sociologists they have they have followed the your historical your theories, historical events, historical happenings, and for that the these dependencies brought a new your term that is your historical sociology. History eventually help in sustaining sociological analysis of past and its consequences on present. Hello, dear students, are you getting me? Hello, students.
Yes, sir.
In fact, actually, having some disturbances. So, you people are not interacting. Actually, it is a counseling class. You should ask some queries. You should communicate that whether you are getting it or not. बुझी पारुछो कि नहीं, whether it is if you are encountering any problem, so as to understand all your term and all that. So you should ask in between. No problem. Okay, suppose in case any if you are not getting a particular your in a particular your portion of that particular that uh, your sociological your theories and all that, so definitely you should ask me. ବୁଝି ହଉଛି କି ନାହିଁ?
No, sir, ବୁଝିହଉଛି।
ବୁଝି ହଉଛି ନା? So today just ମୁଁ ଦେଖୁଛି ଯେ there is very your little participation, only your two students are there in your online
Yes,
so definitely they should everyone should take your interest on this discipline of history and sociology and all that. So that your let's see the your relationship of your sociology and history, how that your history is contributing a lot to the development of sociology, how the historians they are taking the help of your sociology so as to enrich their discipline. So that your let's see the golden age of your sociology and how the history your helped a lot by your you're helping by to grow more in the your discipline of sociology. It is said that the golden age of sociology was probably was in the years from your 1946 to your 1960s. It was when its scientific focus seems candid, its future appeared prospective, and its intellectual leaders sure of themselves on what to do and how to do. However, with the change of time, societal needs and overall social discourse since the 1960s, globalization, the emergence of interconnected world, network society, information revolutions, and cultural studies have transformed the context of sociology. Modernity became subject of past. Sociology in last couple of decades become much concerned with post, such as your post-industrialization, post-colonialism, post-positivism, post-modernity, or post-structuralism. So various sociologists, such as your you can say the Habermas, your you can say the your Anthony Giddens, and others have worked and used historical perspective to elaborate their sociological analysis. So all these your sociologists, they have your followed, they have taken into account the historical perspective to elaborate their own sociological analysis. Now let's see little bit your the differences between sociology and history. Though both the your discipline, the sociology and history are closely interrelated, they have so many your common. Uh, Still, they have some differences. Let's see what are the differences between this your sociology and your history. Even though both sociology and history are two different intellectual disciplines in the domain of social sciences, both the disciplines differ in their methods, approaches, and purposes. One is you're studying your past events, past society. One is you're focusing on your present, your urban modernized society. Okay, still both the disciplines they have difference so far their methods, approach, and purposes are concerned. So, if you'll see the study of your uh, Goldthorpe, who studied history in the year mid 20th century at University College of London, compare the research approaches of both sociology and history. He claims that both sociology and history differ in their orientation towards present and past, respectively. Historians emphasizes their findings as time-space localized, whereas sociologists believe their understanding transcends space-time dimension. Thus, the major difference between sociology and history is with regard to the nature of data or evidences put for analysis. So one is focusing on your past, one is you're focusing in the present data, one is focusing on your past data. So it is one of the you can say the differences between your history and sociology. Sociologists must concerns with the past and primary data, whereas historians are concerned with the past and look for secondary data in archives or past events. For a richer sociological analysis, it is often argued that the sociologists should be historically aware. They should be aware of historical setting and limits, which should inform their analysis of social issues. So, though there is some differences, still the sociologists are bound to refer your historical. They should be very much aware about your historical your development, historical your happenings, so as to solve, so as to study the present issues related to your society.
ତ ଯେମିତି କହିବାକୁ ଗଲେ ଆମେ କେବଳ ସୋସିଓଲୋଜିରୁ ଆମେ କେବଳ ପ୍ରେଜେଣ୍ଟ ପାଷ୍ଟଟା ଜାଣିପାରିବା, ହିଷ୍ଟ୍ରିରୁ କେବଳ ପାଷ୍ଟଟା ହିଁ ଜାଣିପାରିବା।
One thing is that in your history, they totally focus on your historical events. Okay, they used to provide abundant data only related to your historical, political, ecosphere रे जो घटना घटी जाइतिला systematically with proof. Okay, ताको सजेके रखा है that your descriptive your social science, वर्णनात्मक एक सामाजिक विज्ञान होची तमर इतिहास, किंतु in sociology actually we हमें को analysis करू in your history, they used to study all your happenings. Okay, ବର୍ଣ୍ଣନା ସେମାନେ କରି ଚାଲନ୍ତି, ସେଥିରେ ସେମାନେ କୌଣସି analysis କରନ୍ତି ନାହିଁ, ସେମାନେ cause and effect relationship को ସେଥିରେ ସେମାନେ ଦର୍ଶାନ୍ତି ନାହିଁ, just ସେମାନେ ଖାଲି ବର୍ଣ୍ଣନା କରି ଯିବେ। but in case of sociology ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଘଟଣା ମାନଙ୍କୁ study କରିଥାଉ, ଆମେ ତାର ସବୁ କିଛି କୁ ଆମେ ଅନୁସନ୍ଧାନ କରିଥାଉ, cause and effect, why it happened, what may be the consequences in the future, which factors contributed for this particular events, ये सब जिनिस सोशियोलॉजी रे डिस्कशन करा जाए। तो जते बेले हम सोशियोलॉजिकल इश्यूज कोन सी जिनिस को हम स्टडी करता हूं, डेफिनेटली हमें तार पास्ट इवेंट्स को मध्य हमको देखियो पड़े, एते पे हमको हिस्ट्री ऊपर डिपेंड करिया को पड़े। अदरवाइज बोथ द डिसिप्लिन्स, हिस्ट्री एक निर्दिष्ट एक समय पर्यंत आसीबो, तापर से बंद हे जिवो, तापर सेटो हमर सोशियोलॉजी स्टार्ट हे जिवो। कहली परा history is your past sociology and sociology is the present history.
Yes, sir.
One is you're dealing with your past, one is you're dealing with your present, but both the disciplines they contribute each other a lot for their development. तो आउ केतरा ताकर डिफरेंसेस देखो कोन हिस्ट्री एवं सोशियोलॉजी भितर कोन डिफरेंस अछि। For a richer sociological analysis, it is often argued that the sociologists should be historically aware. They should be aware of historical setting and limits, which should inform their analysis social issues. Again, if you see the works of your Galthrop, he concludes that it is wrong to consider sociology and history as one. History in no sense is a natural science like sociology. It does not seek colorless units. It is said that history interprets, whereas natural science explains. Already, just I told you that your historical is a descriptive your social science. It is not like your natural science. It is not going to explain everything in details. Just it will describe all your events chronologically with evidences. They will go on describing everything, every war, every sorts of your events that occurred page by page in your historical evolution in your human society. Historians collect the concrete and interpret it as unique phenomenon, whereas sociologists work on hypotheses, classify and arrange data in relevant and different categories to explore and formulate the typical propositions. History never makes a propositions, just केवल describe करी जाए। Big अच्छा, तापरे mainly in case of sociology, while studying your present your situations, you can collect your data, you can examine the data, you can verify your conclusions and everything. But in case of history, you cannot do all these things because you cannot re-examine your past events, past your things and all that. So it is your major difference between your sociology and your history so far your studies is concerned. It is a fact that sociology and history do not speak same language. The two professions diverge on many counts. Notably, one need not to see only just two different professions, but structures with distinct languages, style of thinking, and values shaped by differences in education and training. It is said that sociologists have crave for numbers, historians for dates and words. Sociologists recognize rules and ignore variations, whereas historians stress on the individuals and specific. Sociology is a general your social science, but if you see the history, it is a special social science. Then sociology differ from history in the sense that the sociologists seek generalized uniformities and processes to form a typology of concepts which differ from the exact data sets proposed in a particular case by historians. By many scholars, called history as concrete and descriptive science of society. Just it describes. Okay, it never explains, it never makes any hypothesis. On the other side, sociology is said to be abstract and theoretical science of society. Scope of sociology in this respect considered broader than the history. Sociology is not only concerned with the your social present but with the social past too. ଏବେ just କି ଯେନ୍ଟା କି ଏବେ ତମେ ଟିକେ କହୁଥିଲ ଟିକେ ଆଗରୁ, exactly, sociology is not only concerned with the your social present but with the social past too. It covers both the your present and past. Okay, while you are discussing any your social issues, while you are covering any your particular social issue, it you are covering both your social past and social present simultaneously. Sociology thus covers a wider range of issues, often go with broad purpose and transcend time and space limit to produce generalizations grounded in theoretical propositions. Again, if you see, just ଆମେ ଯେମିତି ଆଗରୁ ଟିକେ ଡିସ୍କସ୍ କରିଥିଲେ ଯେ interlinked discipline, your social psychology, here it your historical sociology as a sub discipline, it is your interlinked discipline, that is your historical sociology. As we know, it is too difficult to uh, understand, it is too difficult to interpret a particular social issue in the present context without you are referring to your history. So historical sociology is a your common field or interdisciplinary concept that came into existence. Historical sociology is a branch of sub-discipline of sociology. This is historical sociology, it is a branch of sociology that we should know. It emerged as a result of intersection between sociology and history. Both the disciplines have come closer in terms of concepts and theoretical underpinnings to delineate on common themes which touch boundaries of the two. This boundary crossing phenomenon has led to the development of subfield named historical sociology. Historical sociology uses history in its analysis. So, in historical sociology, what we get, that in historical sociology we are referring history while you are taking into consideration, while taking different issues in the present context, in the present society. That is your you can say that we are applying historical sociology. Historical sociology uses history in its analysis. Furthermore, it may be noted that the issues of change and growth in family, kinship issues, migration, dowry system, all have past which have influences on their present status. So, whenever we are you're conducting any research, any survey related to your family, migration, dowry, then definitely it has your past, your root that is to be seen and that is to be known so as to solve the issue or to make any your what is that conclusion related to different social evils. All have past which are influences on their present status. These past hold important clues to understand the present status of the problem or issues under consideration. Historical sociology has been interested in how people, communities, and societies have been changing over a period of time. That can be known through your historical sociology. How have the great transformations such as imperialism, Renaissance, French revolutions, and industrial revolutions have shaped the modern world? If you want to know all this, definitely we have to refer your historical sociology. So, in the your from the earlier your different works also we have seen that while you're getting into your different social issues or your present context, the sociologists they have taken into account the historical sociology so as to get deep insight into the your issues and to solve it. If you see the your scholars or sociologists like your Khaldun, Kant, Spencer, Weber, Durkheim, or Simon, they have enormously contributed to the field of your historical sociology. Like your Max Weber, in his study particularly, he has taken into account this your historical sociology. In your Weber, in your, I am getting a sound, sir. The city published way back in 1921 is historical paradigm and examine the role of city as a carrier of modern capitalistic economy and as a precursor to modern nation state. While Max Weber, he proposed that particular theory related to the city, and definitely he took into account different your historical your evolutions, historical process related to it, and proposed his theory. If you see the works of your what is that Robert Nisbet in America, who is the pioneers to draw attention towards the relevance of historical perspective. So this year historical sociology has a vital role to play. It is a branch or subdiscipline of sociology. It emerged during the 20th century, primarily as a result of your intersections between the sociology and history. And historical sociology, as a subfield of your sociology, is likely to make two major contributions to the discipline. First, it can fruitfully historicize your sociological analysis, helping to situate any sociological analysis historically. Secondly, it will help to draw on your important social issues which critically required historical analysis but somehow avoided or remain neglected in your sociological analysis. So historical sociology is going to help in this year context that it can help us so as to solve so many social issues in the present context. Uh, The idea of distinct subfield called historical sociology set to be formed during the 20th century. Already I have told you earlier, and is going to help us in your many to solve your many social issues in the present context. Historical sociology, which essentially goes to history to understand a problem, is critically important to the growth of the interdisciplinary scholarship to widen the spectrum of knowledge creation. Historical sociology as a subfield of sociology is likely to make two major contributions to the discipline. First, it can fruitfully historize sociological analysis, ଯାହାକି ମୁଁ ଏବେ just କହୁଥିଲି. Again, ଏହାକୁ ଆମକୁ empirical generalizations ପାଇଁ ମଧ୍ୟ help କରିବ. Secondly, a greatly broadened your historical sociology will help to draw in important social issues which critically required historical analysis but somehow avoided by your sociological analysis in the present situation. So historical sociology is going to help a lot. So thank you all for today. So this is all about the relationship of history with your sociology as the two disciplines. Again, also we discussed today the relationship of your psychology with your sociology, the two distinct your social sciences, how they are interrelated, how the interdisciplinary your social psychology or your social historical sociology is going to help us in your solving many social issues in the present context. So today I concluded my class and over to Panigray sir.
Thank you, sir. Students, any question? So if not, thank you very much to all of you. Tomorrow again, same time we will join. Thank you,
Sir,
sir.
sir,
Thank you.
thank you, sir.